What is up, YouTube? It's Alter Ego. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing 55 things you didn't know about Lethal Company. They're going to get better as the video goes on, so if you don't know the ones at the beginning, then you definitely won't know the ones by the end. Let's jump into it. There's a secret command on the terminal. If you type in eject, it will automatically begin the firing process. Many people call this the Bracken room because they think this is where the Bracken takes your dead body, but the Bracken actually takes your dead body to the furthest place from the main entrance. Nutcrackers cannot see you when they're in their patrol state, but as soon as their eye pops out, they can see you unless you're standing completely still. On experimentation, you can jump onto this pipeline near the fire exit. This is useful for bringing back loot, especially when it's flooded. Blobs will always make their way towards the closest player, but if nobody's inside the facility, they can camp right outside doors, so make sure somebody always stays inside. The fastest you can get inside the facility out of every moon is going to be through the Assurance fire exit. It's using this method where you jump off the ship as it's landing, onto this rock, over to the pipeline, and you're inside within about 13 seconds. If you happen to run into a locked door and you don't have a key, just look around because usually there's one pretty close. Dogs cannot hear you jump unless you're jumping off something. In the apparatus room, you can actually glitch yourself back to the main entrance. You just want to jump up here, crouch underneath this railing, and start sprinting towards the wall. This should glitch you through the map and eventually teleport you right by the main entrance. All indoor enemies will come from vents. If you see one open, that means one is already wandering around or it's just about to spawn. Every player has a hidden paranoia meter. Your paranoia will increase the more you move your camera and the more often you play away from your crew. The player with the highest paranoia meter will win the most paranoid accolade when leaving a moon. The ghost girl will always target the most paranoid player. You can successfully steal items back from loot bugs as long as you have a door to close behind you. Make sure you're checking the store after every quota because sometimes items will be discounted. Pulling the apparatus will turn off the power, open every pressured door, and there's a chance it'll increase the likelihood of indoor enemies spawning, so it's a good idea to leave the apparatus for last. Every moon in the game has one main entrance and one fire exit, except March. March has 3 fire exits located here, here, and here. On eclipse moons, you can actually see the eclipse. At the beginning of the game, you can turn the ship speaker off. Store-bought items like flashlights, shovels, radar boosters, etc. will not scan. The easiest way to catch beehives are to bait the bees towards you, then run backwards in a semicircle, grab the beehive, and bring it back to your ship. One of the best ways to speed up bringing loot back to the ship on Assurance is by dropping your items off this railing right by the fire exit. Once you finish dropping your items off the edge, this pipeline will take you straight to the main entrance. Dropping items, even when you're in the ship, will aggro dogs. You can sprint in any direction, forward, backwards, left, right, diagonal, any direction works. As long as you have enough items on the shelf to meet quota, you can leave the company building as soon as the door opens. The bridge on Vow actually has an invisible health bar that depletes faster depending on how many people and how much weight you have on it. Illusory Wall has a very good in-depth video about this. If you're interested, I'll link it down in the description. If the lights are off in the facility, find a circuit box, flip all the switches to the left, and that'll turn the lights back on. Turrets will never look up or down unless you've set them off. You actually have more stamina than what shows on your stamina bar. When you initially start sprinting, it won't start taking from your bar for about a second, and when you get to the end of the stamina bar, you can actually keep sprinting for another 2 or 3 seconds. The sound Robot Toys makes in your inventory can be really annoying and attract dogs. If you want to turn it off, just keep dropping it and picking it back up until it turns off. Rubber duckies can be worth as low as 2 credits, making it the cheapest item in the game, whereas gold bars can be worth up to 210, making it the most expensive item in the game. Spiders will take 5 hits to kill. The easiest way to kill them is to bring them to a long hallway and walk backwards as you hit them. Just make sure you're careful because once you get the 4th hit, they'll move and attack much faster. You probably knew that on offense you need an extension ladder to get to the fire exit, but if you jump on this pipeline while the ship is landing, you actually don't need an extension ladder because this will take you straight to the fire exit. If you find a laser pointer, you can use it as a light, or what I like to do is turn it on, drop it somewhere, and use it as a checkpoint. Shovels, stop signs, and yield signs all have the same mechanic, similar to a crossbow where you pull back and release. The easiest way to use these is to hold your left mouse button when you're preparing an attack and release it when you want to strike. When the Jester is in its final phase, as soon as every single player leaves the facility, his timer will completely reset. Snare fleas will cause you to drop all your items when they jump on your head. If you can manage to pick up and swing your shovel, stop sign, or yield sign, it will knock them off. You don't need to completely type out every command, you can just type the first 3 letters of the command. Make sure you're taking advantage of this, especially when you're going to Assurance or Titan. There is a 0.01% chance that you'll get a mansion on Assurance.
Wow. I got a mansion on this map? That's insane.
Landmines will periodically make this sound, and if you happen to step on one, they won't blow up until you've stepped off. Beehives can be worth anywhere between 50 and 156, making it one of the most valuable items in the game, and they're most commonly found on March. If you see a Jester, make sure it doesn't start winding up in the wrong doorway because it can completely block you from getting through. If a Snare Flea starts sucking you off in a solo game, don't panic, it'll just get you down to critical health and then jump off, but if you are playing with anybody else, it will stay on your head until you die. With all your gift boxes in this corner and Rend being the last moon you went to, back out, reload the game, and now wherever you land, other than the company building, all these gift boxes will turn into cash registers. You'll hear a variety of sounds when you're being haunted by the ghost girl, one of them being this muffled, concussed sound with a bell. What is that? Whoa. Every tier 1 and tier 2 moon have a chance of spawning a beehive except offense. Spiders and nutcrackers will move and attack much faster when they're at critical health. There is a light switch on the ship, which you can use to turn the lights on and off, of course. You can actually move this to a different spot if you click B while you're looking at it, as well as some other things on the ship. With a perfectly timed shovel hit, you can actually save yourself from being killed by a mimic. If it ever gets really foggy inside the facility, just listen for the bursted valve, it should be pretty close, turn it, and that'll clear the fog. If a Snare Flea lands on your head near an exit, just leave the facility, it'll save your life and immediately kill the Snare Flea. Take the fire exit, especially if you're in solo, because you have a chance of spawning in a loot room, whereas if you go through the main entrance, you'll always spawn in that main entrance room. The easiest way to kill a nutcracker is to crouch underneath his gun and hit him. Make sure you're not too far or his gun will hit you, and make sure you're not too close or he'll kick you, which is an insta-death. Mimics will hide in the ship and they'll stay hidden until you get really close. Baboon hawks pretty much won't attack you unless they outnumber you, similar to coyotes. If you constantly crouch while you're sprinting, it'll pretty much turn it into a silent sprint and dogs will not be able to hear you. Deep in the game files, there's an unfinished entity called the Lasso Man. He'll never spawn on your moon, but one time I was playing on a modded moon and apparently on this moon, it allowed him to spawn.
What the hell is that? What the fuck is this? What is this? Yo.
This video is geared towards beginner and intermediate players. I have a list full of more tips, and I'll be working on another 55 things you didn't know about Lethal Company videos soon, which will include a lot more intermediate and advanced concepts. So if you're interested in that, make sure you throw post notifications on, and I'll see you in the next one.